Hi everyone, this is Vivek. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use REST API in your Flutter app. So without any delay, let's start our video. Before starting our video, be sure to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to receive notification of our upcoming videos. So here I have basic Flutter app up and running in my mobile device. So first of all, let's understand what API is. API is a set of rules that is used to communicate between your mobile device or your mobile app and the backend server. The API acts as an intermediary between the client and the server. Uh, in the current context, the client is your mobile app and the server is the backend server developed by some backend developers. So as a app developer, it's our responsibility to integrate the backend to our mobile app so that it will fulfill the purpose. So to integrate API in your Flutter app, we must make use of HTTP package. So first of all, let's add that package in our project. So for that, let's go to pub.dev and let's find the HTTP package there. As just search the HTTP in the search bar and you will see the HTTP package here in the second result. Okay, now go to installing tab and just copy this command .pub add HTTP. Just copy this from this copy button and paste this in your terminal. Okay, and once you add new package, be sure to restart the app or stop the app and start again, so that the package will be built and it can be implemented in your app. Otherwise you will get some exception like platform exception. So here is my mobile device and let me stop the app. Okay, now I will run it again. So let's start with the development process. Okay, so I will make a few folders inside the lib folder. So let's make a folder named models. In this folder we will make a file representing the model of the particular real life entity that we are going to fetch from the server and take appropriate actions on them by making use of different HTTP requests. We'll see about different HTTP requests shortly, but for now the model is something like class. Okay, so we'll make a class of any real life object. For example, we can fetch the data of employees, we can add employees, we can update employees. Okay, so let's make another folder named services. Here we will handle the logic of fetching the data, updating the data. Okay, we may not be able to cover all the HTTP methods in the single video, so for this video we are going to focus on the fetching the data from the API, and in the next video we will focus on updating, creating and deleting the data in the server. So let's make another folder named utils so that we can write some utilities functions, and let's make another folder named screens so that we can display the data retrieved from API. So we are going to make use of free API testing. So here is one website named request.in, and that I often use while demonstrating the use of REST APIs in the Flutter app. So for this video we will continue with it. So here you can see the different methods in the left hand side, like you can see the get, and here we have post, put, patch, delete. So let's talk about these methods. Okay, so the get method, get HTTP method, is used to retrieve the data from the server. It will not do any manipulation or modification in the server. It just gets the data sent by the server. Okay, and the post method is used to write the data in the server. So whenever we have to add new employee, we will make a post request. And the put method is used to update, and while updating we have two options: we can partially update and we can fully update. So whenever we have to partially update the data, then we will use pass method, or when we have to use the full update, then we will use the put method. So when we need to delete the data from the server, then we will make use of this delete request. So we will explore all these methods one by one. So for now, let's continue with the get method. So here is our base URL. Like, to make a request, we need endpoint, that is this URL along with this part. Okay, so our base URL will be https://request.in/api/user, and what page is connected to. So this is our URL that we are making a get request. So every browsers can make a get request, so I can demonstrate here. So here is our base URL, and I will append the remaining portion, and we can see the response of this. Okay, so here you can see the example that we will see the response like this, and we will display this response in our app. So okay, is equals to 2 is missing, I will edit here. Okay, and here we have double slash. Okay, this is the data that we received after sending a get request in this endpoint. So I'll check for pretty print, and here you can see page number, and there are 6 data per page. There are total 12, and total pages are 2. And here the main data that we are going to deal is here. So here we can see the employee list of employees. Okay, so here you can see the capital bracket, and in that it's map. Okay, so it is enclosed in curly braces, and we can see the key value pairs around here. So we are going to deal with this data. Okay, so this is the response of get request. So let's try to implement it in our app. So we are aware about the URL. We will display all this data in the list style. So if you have studied Flutter, then you may be aware about the list style widget. We will make use of that widget to conveniently display this data. So let's start with the model. So let's start writing the model. Okay, so let me go back to the response of the API. So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 elements over here. So we'll make a model representing these elements. Okay, so let me I just copy this, and I will make a new file named employee.dart, and let's make a new class over here, class employee, and we will define this data. Okay, for now I'm commenting this response, and let's start defining the data string. Let's make this nullable. Okay, so we have declared ID, and the email is also going to be string. Sorry, the ID is integer. Okay, as you can see here, it's integer. So let's change it to integer, and string email, and string first name. So here you can see the key is written in a snake case, but I recommend you to write the variables names in the lower camel case like this. Okay, string what last name, and the avatar is also a string what avatar. So let's make a constructor for this. the constructor is used to the initialize these values. Okay, so when the object of this employee class is created, then the code written inside the employee is used to initialize these values. Okay, so for now all of these are nullable, so the values can be null by default. So let's just write this dot id. The keyword this represents the most recent instance of this employee object. Okay, employee class. This dot email comma this dot first name, this dot last name, this dot avatar. And the another important thing is the data type that we use to communicate between our mobile app and the backend server, that is JSON, and it stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it is the common format that is used to communicate. So we will use the data object, like the object of the employee, while displaying all the employee data in our app. But we will receive this in a JSON format, and whenever we have to send the data, then we have to send it in the JSON format. So we will write two methods. For now we are just retyping the data, then we will go for only one method. But in the next video, as we are going to write the data in the server, so we will make another method called toJSON. Okay, so for now we will receive the data from the server in the JSON format, and we have to convert this data into our employee object. Okay, we have to make a object of employee. So for this, let me make a function named employee dot from JSON, and we will get something like map string comma dynamic. As you can see here, all the keys are in the string format, and these values are changing. Here it is integer, here it is string. So we consider this as a dynamic. So when there is a difference in the data types, then we have to use dynamic. Okay, and let me name it like JSON, but you can name it anything. And now we are going to initialize the value like this dot id is equals to JSON id. So JSON is the like this map. We can consider this as a map, and here in the id key we have the value of id, so we will use JSON id, or we can get rid of this from this keyword also. Okay, it is not necessary to write. You can just simply say id is equals to JSON id, email is equals to JSON, and let's take the key here. Okay, it is email, and let's go for first name. First name is equals to JSON first name. Okay, make sure that the key that you use right here matches with the key given here. Okay, and last name, and finally we have avatar. avatar avatar is equals to JSON avatar. So for now the creation of employee class is completed, and we will add another method called toJSON in the next video. Okay, so let's go. Okay, let's create a screens. Okay, a screen, like we are going to have only one screen for now to display the face data. So let me give it a name, employee view, or I can simply write employee screen dot. Okay, let's make a stateless widget here, and first of all import the material package and make a stateless widget, and let me give it a name employee screen, and we are going to return scaffold. Let's make a app bar. Employee data. Okay, so app bar is going to have a title, and the title is going to take text with it, and we will provide employee data. Now in the body we are going to use a future builder, and I will come back here shortly. Okay, like what is future builder and how does it work. So before that, let's go here in the services folder, and we will make another class that will define the methods for fetching the data and converting it into our employee object. Okay, like the for the employee we have created the class, and we are getting each objects for each employees. Okay, so for this first employee we will create one employee object, and for this another we will create another, and display all the objects created in the list view. So in the services folder, let's make a file named employee services, employee underscore services dot. So this is the most basic demonstration, and I have skipped some conventions for the sake of simplicity. So this is strongly recommended for the beginners, and you can follow our other video for intermediate developers. Okay, so let's make a class class employee services, and we have to define a variable called base URL. Okay, so that we will reuse that variable when we have to make request in another endpoints. Okay, so let me grab this and save it in a variable named string base URL is equals to slash API, and let me close it with semicolon. Now let's make a method whose responsibility is to fetch the data from the server and convert it into the list of objects of employee class. Okay, so let's define the method as get all employee data, and it is going to be asynchronous, is the data will not be retrieved instantly, is we have to make the request over the internet, and the different procedures like authentication, authorization and others are checked by the server, and everything is okay. Well, then only the actual data is sent, and during this process the certain times is taken. So whenever the response is not written instantly, then we have to make a asynchronous function. So after we make a request, we will definitely get a response. Even when there is some error or we are not authorized, we will at least receive a status code and the message is a response to our request. Okay, so let me define a variable response, and we will not receive it instantly, so we have to await it. And now here we have to make use of the HTTP package that we have installed in the beginning of the video. So let's import the HTTP package like this: import package http slash http dot is http. So now we are going to make a http get request. Okay, so for this we are going to write something like http dot get, and if you hover over in this get function, then here you can see two variables. One is URI, and here another is headers. Okay, map whose data type is map string comma string, and it is optional, so we have to pass the URL, and this is compulsory. So and the data type is URI. So we have to parse the URL into the URI. So for this, just write URI dot parse and provide your URL. So for now our URL is base URL plus. So here we have http ://request.in/api/ but our full endpoint is api/users what page is equals to 2. So we have to write it over here. Okay, so let me just make use of plus operator to concatenate these two strings. Okay, so whenever the server sends the response, then our variable named response can store the data received from the server, and we will check the status code of the response. Okay, if the response is successful and server have returned the data, then we will receive the status code of 200, else we will receive other status code according to the error according the server, or the error can be either in client side or in server side, so it depends. So let's check. Okay, either we have error or data. So for this we are going to make use of http status code. So if response dot status code is equals to 200, so it means our request is successful and we have received the data. So as I have already mentioned, we will receive the data in the JSON format and we have to decode it. Okay, so let me make a variable where data is equals to response dot body. Okay, and we have to decode the data that we receive here. So I will make another variable called, or we can decode it in the same statement. Okay, like this. I will write another line, but you can write it in the same line. Okay, so where decoded data is equals to, we can make use of JSON decode format function, and it is derived from this library. Okay, dot convert, make sure to import this, and we have to decode the data. Okay, the data, just JSON decode and this variable. Now let's try to print this data in the console. Okay, I will write a print statement, print data. And another important thing, be sure to use the try catch. Okay, so whenever you get any error, you can catch the error easily. So let me wrap all this code in try catch block. Okay, so let me copy all this and I will code for a while, and I will write try, and I will write a catch block. Okay, catch error, and I will simply throw the error as exception, throw exception, and I will convert this error to string. Inside this try block I will paste the code that we have got previously. Now let's call this function to see either we can receive the data from the server or not. Okay, for now I'm going to screens folder, and inside this employee screen let's make a button in the app bar. Okay, so here is our mobile app, and I will make some button like refresh button, and whenever I click there, we will make call to that function that we have just created. Okay, so in the actions of the app bar, let's make a icon button, and let me put it empty function as of now. I will change it immediately. Okay, in the icon let's make use of icons dot dot refresh. Okay, and in the on press, let's call our function. Okay, so we have to call the class. Okay, let's check the name of the class that we have created. It is a employee services. Okay, so to access this function we have to make the object of this class first. Okay, so let me make the object. So whenever you write the class name and add two brackets over here, then you have object. You can store in a variable or directly call the function here by using the dot operator. Like you can access the base URL and the function that we have created. Okay, now as soon as this button is clicked, we'll call this function, and the responsibility of this function is to get data from API. So let's check this. Let me restart the app and make sure that let's change the navigation. Okay, like we will see the employee screen as soon as our app is restarted. So let me change the home page to employee screen. So let's restart the app. So here we can see the white screen showing employee data and the refresh button. So switch to the debug console in the bottom part of your code editor and just click on this refresh button, and you can see the data here. Okay, it is the same response that you see in the browser previously, like page 2 for page 6, total 12. Now we have successfully retrieved the data in our console. So let's convert it to the object of employee class. So the actual data is inside this data key. Okay, so here we are getting all the data, but all of this data is not necessary as of now. We are going to deal with only this data, like the list of these employees. So let me extract this. Okay, where employees is equals to decoded data. Okay, decoded data hold all this, and we will get the data from only this data key. Okay, so let me add that data key, and let's see again, and I will replace this data with the employees, and now we must be able to see employees only. So let's verify it quickly. Okay, let me click on this button, and you can see the list of the data. Okay, so we have like lots of data of employee, but it is in the list. And what we are going to do now is we'll iterate over each items in the list and convert each item to the object of employee class. So let's do that. Okay, so I am going to use for in loop. Okay, for where employee. Okay, so this employee is a variable name, and in employees, so this employees is the variable that is a set here, and it must be a list for this to work. Okay, so let's create a new object of employee class. Now okay, I will define the type. Okay, employee, new employee is equals to, we'll make use of the employee from JSON function that we have created previously. So I'm going with this employee dot from JSON, and the JSON is the value. Okay, the map data. So for the first iteration we will receive this data, and for the second iteration we will receive this, and this is in the map format. So our employee dot from JSON handle this data and make a respective object. Okay, so instead of this JSON I'm going to write the employee variable, employee. So we have successfully created the employee object, but we haven't collected it. So let's make a list over here. Okay, I will make an empty list first and then we'll add each objects that are created here. Okay, and at the end of the function or we'll return that list. So here we haven't mentioned the return type, so we can return anything. Okay, it is dynamic. So list of employee, all employees. Okay, all employees. So it is empty before making the request, but as soon as the data are created we are going to update it. Okay, so for now I'm going to write add a value to this variable, that is all employees dot add the new object created. Okay, new employee. Once this loop is completed and we are going to return this value all employees. Okay, return all employees. So let's see we'll get the object of this employee object or not. Okay, let's just print the response or the value from this function. Okay, so let me go back to the employee screen, and instead of uh, printing the data I'm going to print this whole. Okay, print the return value of this function, and I will comment this code. So let's see, let me just press on this button and you can see the instance of future dynamic. Okay, it is showing dynamic is we haven't specified the data type. Okay, let's verify. Okay, let's print all employees here. Okay, print all employees. Okay, as you can see here we have the instance of this employee object, like first employee, second employee, third employee, fourth, fifth, sixth respectively. Okay, now we are going to display the data from each object in our UI. So let's go to employee screen and we will make a future builder here. Okay, so let's see how the future builder widget works here. Okay, so inside the body I'm going to use future builder. So future builder is composed of two importance like this data. Like first of all we have to provide the future. The future is nothing but the function that will return a future. Like future meaning that the response will not be retrieved instantly, but we have to wait for a certain time. And the builder is the function that is going to be executed while okay, once the data is retrieved or while it is loading or when the error occurs. Okay, you can handle all these three situations, and builder is responsible to build the widget tree. Okay, so let's use the future. So here we are going to provide the function like this function. Okay, employee services dot get all employees, get all employee data. Okay, and here in the builder we have to provide a function. So in this function we have snapshot. Okay, first of all we have context and snapshot. and we are going to return, okay, we are going to return three things on the basis of the conditions that are met. Like if we have error, then we have to show the error widget, and if we have data, then we have to show the list view of the data, or if the data is, if the request is being made or it is loading, then we have to show the circular progress indicator. So let's handle each situation. Okay, okay, so if snapshot, so the snapshot variable will take all the data or everything from this future, okay, like data, error, or a loading message, or everything that is associated with this. So if snapshot dot has error, so if we have error, then we will just return the text showing error retrieving the data, and let's place it in the center. Text error fetching employee data. If we have error, sorry, if we have data, then we have to display it. Okay, so let's handle the situation of having data. If snapshot dot has data, so this is going to return a boolean, and if it's true, then the code inside its body will be executed. Okay, so let's return list view dot builder, list view dot builder. So the list view dot builder takes two parameters. Okay, like we have to provide the item count and item builder. So item count is number of widgets that you are going to make in the list view. Like the item count is defined from the data, like we are going to make equal number of list styles equal to the employee objects that we have received or the employee available in that server. Okay, so here we have 6, but we are not going to write the 6 manually, as it can be either okay, it vary according to the API. Okay, so we are going to make use of length function. So we will just okay, the data received from this API will be stored in snapshot.data variable. So I can simply write r data is equals to snapshot.data, and we can use typecasting, as we already know that the data is list of employee. I can typecast like this. Okay, is list of employee, not employee screen, employee, and let's import this employee. Okay, and item count is data dot length. So data is a list, like the list is returned over here, and the length of the list is going to be the item count of the list builder. So in the item builder, here we have to pass context and index, and let's return a list style. List style in the leading, we can show the circle after, and inside the circle after we will see the profile picture of the user or employee, and be sure to place the semicolons correctly. Inside the leading, we are going to use circle after widget, and inside in the background image property, we are going to use image widget, and after this image, okay, like the background image aspects the image provider directly, so we are going to use network image, and the network image is the like this image. Okay, face/7 image.png, and it is in uptire key. Okay, like as we already have a object of the employee class, then we can make use of that. For this we have to write data, and we will make use of the index to track each employees, and we can use dot operator to retrieve the avatar, and make sure that you use the null check operator, and this operator will ensure that like the value of avatar is not empty or null. If it is null, then we will see the error. Okay, so let's write the title. Inside the in the title we are going to write the employee name, title text, and it is going to be data index dot employee name, or we can uh, so both first name and last name in the same widget. Okay, so let's make use of string interpolation. Okay, so for this we are going to use quotations, and inside quotations we'll write like this. Okay, string sign, and we will enclose the expression in the curly braces. Now the expression is data index dot first name. So after first name we are going to write data, okay, same for here. Okay, data index dot last name dot last name. Okay, okay, now we have email remaining. Okay, we will display the email in the subtitle. Okay, in the subtitle, sorry, in the subtitle we can display the email. We can simply write data index dot email and use a null check operator. I think the data part is also ready, and let's handle the situation for loading. Okay, so when we don't have either error or data, then we have a loading state. Okay, so let's use the else. If above conditions are false, then the code block inside this else will be executed. Inside else we will just return the circular progress indicator. Okay, in the center, return center child circular progress indicator. Okay, let's run the app, and I think we are going to see the data now. So let's give it a try. I hope everything will go as expected. If it doesn't go, then we will fix it. Okay, don't worry. So now it is showing circular progress indicator. Is it? Yeah. And as soon as the data is fetched, we can see the data here in the list view. So guys, this is all about the get method, and we have successfully retrieved the data from the server and displayed it in our Flutter app. So in the next video we are going to cover the methods like post, put, patch and delete. By making use of those methods we can create a new employee, update new employee and delete the new employee. Okay, so thank you for watching.